You're live. Oh, shit. Anyway, I was just thinking to my head. Okay, so Lauren comes out with a video protecting free speech. I was really glad she did because it's really important that we understand that there are ugly things about supporting free speech. It's not going to always be pretty. We're going to be put in positions that are going to be awkward. And we need to get out of the habit of guilt by association, which is one of the problems that the alt-right and the alt-lite are running into. They don't want to be associated with groups. And this is the guilt by association problems. But the only way we can make a distinction between guilt by association, actual endorsement, is to make free speech obvious, that we support all free speech. It's not an endorsement. I repeat, it's not an endorsement of that ideology. But because guilt by association is used so often, and there's a correlation, but it's not a causation. The cause of it is free speech, because we support free speech. And it's a very simple thing to support. And you support free speech because of the dialogue. You need to know what someone believes. You need someone to talk to you. You need to have that dialogue, that discourse. That is the reason you're supporting free speech. Now, if you're not allowing for that dialogue, you can't help people that may have bad ideas. I mean, have they been challenged? Have you worked at helping them understand why that ideology is so toxic? I mean, maybe you can't convince them, but maybe people that are leaning will be convinced by your arguments to realize that that's the ideas are what you need to discuss. So, and it's hard. It's an intellectual huge leap. I mean, I have had cringe-worthy events. I mean, I don't like being associated with a Christian fundamentalist group. But when I went to Evergreen State College, I accepted the fact that they would represent ideas that I don't agree with. But I do agree with free speech. So why am I here? Free speech. So other people can be at an event for different reasons, to promote an ideology if they wanted to, like the Republican Party. I'm not happy. I don't like Republicans any more than I like Democrats at this point. But people need to be able to speak, and you need to be able to have those conversations, and you want those people there. And that's the only thing I can do to help people understand. You actually want the bad guys there. It's okay to know they're there. It's okay to say, you know, just so you know, I don't agree with you. And that deplatforming is such a temptation. You know, people just want to deplatform you. Oh, let's just ignore them. They'll go away. They might. They might not. Wouldn't it be better, though, if you could somehow start the recovery process of bringing them along into a more healthy frame of mind? So I'm not discouraging people from discussing the exact opposite. Just because they have an opinion doesn't mean you don't get to criticize it. So I encourage you to do that. Engage, 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 engage. But guilt by association is why these groups are wanting to disassociate themselves, because they don't want to be associated, because guilt by association is what the media is doing. Okay, so that's why we're seeing these things. And thank you, Lauren, for going through that whole emotional process of the Caesar play. Now, my understanding of the Caesar play is really maybe different than a lot of people's, but my understanding is it's a argument against Caesar, but it's also against revolution. It's like the problems that you do when you kill the leader. You just create more problems. And there's so there's that interpretation of that particular idea. So not only would the attack on the Caesar play be out of place, it was in many ways the Caesar play is actually supporting the very idea of free speech and of not killing your leader. So even though he gets killed in the play, that's not really the point of the play. So I think it's a lot more nuanced. And I mean, on free speech grounds, they could certainly have the play if they want to. And it's a traditional play. They just change characters to make it more real for the day, which is common with many Shakespearean plays, is they try to modernize it and make it current, right? To make more people want to go, to say, see how things change, but they stay the same at the same time, right? That's the reason they have do Shakespeare plays. Is, see, it's still the same. So, and I sometimes agree with that idea, and sometimes I think it's not such a great idea to think that history repeats itself. But we are still the same sort of people, so we will do the same sort of silly things. Anyways, great job, Lauren. I really appreciate it. I just wanted to give you support, and I want to say that is right on. Perfect job. Thank you.